Hey, good morning everybody. It's almost 8 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and I'm standing at the Samrong BTS station looking down the tracks to Phú Chau, if I'm pronouncing that correct. There's a large complex, or two of them, on the left side of the track, so let's go down and take a look. Here at Samrong, you'll also find right there is the brand new MRT yellow line, which starts here and heads off to Lap Prau. And I'm not exactly sure what's happening. I know you have to change trains, and I guess it's here because I just saw the train arrive from, say, the En Nude area, and now the driver just inspected the train. That's a driver. So I don't know if this train is now going to reverse direction. I'm not sure. I know I came up here one time years ago and you had to get off one train and get on the next train. Yeah, so I'm not sure. So it pulled up, I got on, and he said, no, please step off. So maybe this train is heading to the maintenance barn. I know there's a track up ahead where you can see something happening. You know, there's a train just kind of sitting idle. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But this area over here, it's certainly busier. These are people heading off in the direction of Prampong and Asok. I'm heading off and the other way. So yeah, see, the train pulled up, passengers got off, and now the empty train is heading up to the barn or wherever they're putting it. And I'm waiting here with a couple other customers. I assume the next train that pulls up will be able to get on, but I'll have to wait and see. So I'm looking down the way. He definitely shifted to the middle track. So there's two directions, and I guess he's taken that cart out of service, or I don't know how this system works. It's a professional operation. I do know there are more trains. Okay, so here's another train. Let's see if we're allowed to get on this one. I do know there are more trains in the early morning and evening. So there's obviously a way to get some of the carts out of service. But just keep in mind, if you pull up to Samrong and then you're continuing on, you might have to get off the train and then get on the next train a few minutes later. No big deal. And there you go. We've made our way the short distance up to Phú Chau. If you look off in the distance, those two large buildings, that's the metropolis at the Samrong BTS station. And here's Phú Chau. I see a Panasonic factory or warehouse, something, right at the BTS station. That looks like a 6-story building. We'll go check that out. This large IDEO building. And yeah, this is all Panasonic. And another, it looks maybe like it's another IDEO. It has kind of that signature look. Oh, and there's another Big C. So that's nice to have. There's a Big C up at the Samrong station. I was gonna point that out. I didn't know if there was a grocery store up here, if you had to go one train stop to the Big C. But right at the base of the IDEO is another Big C. It's always good to have a supermarket nearby. And also at the base of the IDEO next to the Big C is a Honda service center and showroom. And finally, I see a street sign down below, Sukhumvit Soi 115. I was up in Samrong guessing I was at 107 or 109, but maybe I was at 111 or 113. There were just no street signs up the way. And on the even side, on the other side, we have to be into the 70s, maybe the 80s. Again, I didn't see any street signs in Samrong, but here, 115. I'm definitely going to head down that way. There's some interesting looking buildings, but let's take a look at the other side of the street before we do so. And this is looking off on the even side. There's a huge gas station with a 7-Eleven and then a business next door called Iron Mountain, and at least 3 big, whatever that is, 10 or 12-story high apartments, the Sina building. So this is the even side, but we're gonna go walk on that odd side, the Big C area today. And also on the even side, I see a Toyota down the way. Walking around Samrong earlier, this is kind of an industrial area, a lot of small warehouses and that kind of thing. There was a Toyota, what I'm guessing was a parts facility down at Samrong. And again, to get our boundaries, Samrong is that grayish building, the darkish building. Off in the distance, that's the metropolis at Samrong BTS. And to point out on the map exactly where we are, Phu Chau, then go Samrong, Bering, Bang Na, Udom Suk, Punawiti, Bang Chak, On Nut, Prakanong, Ekamai, Tong La, Prampong, Asok. From Prampong to Samrong took me 21 minutes. So put another maybe 2 minutes. So less than 25 minutes to get from Prampong, which is kind of the center of Bangkok, out here to Phu Chau. So not a terribly long commute. Here's a peek, Sukhumvit, heading up towards the main city. That is the Sinas. And here's the big C. So we're gonna head off in this direction, and that is the IDO Sukhumvit. Ooh, it's tucked away in the trees. 115 building. And the IDO building's very nice. 20 feet to the stairs of the BTS, compared to, I just did a video on Samrong. Other than that Metropolis building, which is attached to the BTS, it was a very kind of industrial area, a lot of little factories, where this seems to have a bit more of a neighborhood feel. I like it. Yeah, I like this IDO building. I like that your feet to the big C, and also the Sina building on the other side. And there's a couple other options I'll show you in the other direction, on the other side of that Panasonic factory. And here's the big C. It is 8 o'clock in the morning. That's kind of the only funny thing about Bangkok, is these large grocery stores, they open at 10 in the morning, close at 10 p.m. You'd think they would do a pretty heavy business at 7 o'clock in the morning, but I haven't found one yet that even in On Nut or the more central Bangkok area, I haven't found one that opens before 10 in the morning yet, much less a 24-hour store. There's also a post office, a Black Canyon Coffee, a KFC in the Big C shopping center, Barbecue Plaza, Watson's Pharmacy. And I might have mislabeled that building on the even side. I forget what it said with an S, but there it says it's the Niche Mono. So I'm not sure what is going on, but it clearly says Mono building here in the front. I was just going by the name on the top of the side of the building. But I'm new. My first time running around this little area. I passed through here on the train, but never got off and looked around. In that Niche Mono building's 3 large towers. If it's all the same complex, it's painted the same color. 1 minute walk to the BTS, and all you'd have to do is use the BTS to cross over busy Sukhumvit, and you'd be at the Big C. And I think that IDO building said it was Sukhumvit 115. I'm just gonna walk up there to that orange structure to see if I can see another apartment building behind the Big C. I couldn't tell from the BTS tracks, but otherwise I'm gonna head over here on the other side of that Honda dealer, and I see that building off in the direction, the Supali building, but there were a couple like 6-story units off in this direction. So let's just take the time to walk towards that orange structure. I'm not gonna walk all the way back to Samrong. You can see the dark building off in the left side, that's Samrong. But I'm curious as to what's behind the Big C on this side. Maybe nothing. These Thai folks take a lot of pride in their businesses out in front of the Big C. Just raking up the leaves. And this young lady's cleaning up the sidewalk. Yeah, I'm super impressed with Thailand and how they take pride in things and keep their businesses clean. Okay, and I just got a peek back here. It's pretty industrial for a couple of blocks, but you never know. There could have been another little side soy and some 6-story cool buildings back there. So I'm gonna backtrack. We're very close to BTS, and I'll give you a quick peek of the grounds, the IDO. And all these nicer buildings are gonna have manicured grounds, pools, gyms. This one even has a 7-Eleven in the lobby. And guard shacks and roaming security patrol. Not that there's really any crime over here, it's minimal, but they're all gonna have security, all these buildings. And I'm on the side of that building again, looking over on the even side. And yeah, it clearly says Sina, so maybe it's a Sina property, but it clearly said the Niche Mono building down below. And directly under the BTS, here's a little auto service, battery, oil. Watch yourself with the motorbikes heading down the sidewalk, taking a little shortcut in the wrong direction. I think this is also auto parts. And this is a Honda dealership. But this little side soi off to the left is 115. So Soi Sukhumvit 115. We're gonna go down and explore. You can see that's the stairs to the BTS. Off in the distance is the Sukhumvit building, which is close to the stairs at the other end of the BTS station. And if you were to work, I wouldn't recommend living down here and working in, say, the US Embassy area, Wireless Road and all. It's just an unnecessary commute to maybe, try not to get flipped here, to you're gonna definitely save money living out here, but yeah, those trains, they get packed and they're just a pain. To save $200 or $300, if you're gonna save $1,000, that's another story. Now I'm kind of pointing straight into the sun, so hopefully this will come out. Yeah, what I'm getting at is coming out towards Bering or Samrong, Phu Chau, all that's good and fine. You're definitely going to save a little bit of money out here, but consider it more if you're just heading into the Terminal 21 Asok area a few times a week. If you're doing it daily, I mean, I know people do it, and I know this ideal on 115, you're certainly going to pay a fraction of the amount than anything in the Asok area, but you'll just have to decide what your time is worth. For me, getting up and going to work at whatever it is, 7 in the morning, that's bad enough, much less adding another 45 minutes to the commute to save $250 on my rent. And I'm making all these numbers up. So we're walking down 115. On the right is the Panasonic plant. On the left is the Toyota, I'm assuming, or not Toyota, yeah, that's the Honda, and that right here said it's a Honda service center. So it sure is a large one if it goes all the way down. But I see some 6-story buildings that would be a 5-minute walk from the Phu Chau BTS. But some of the other reasons for living out here, it's definitely more mellow than even my Phrom Phong area. Yeah, that's hustle and bustle, but that's what I like. I'm a night owl, and I like to have plenty of options. Out here, it's going to be a little quieter come 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And there's the side view. You can see just how many condos are in that ideal 115. I see a gym there on maybe the 6th floor. And we're on Sukhumvit Soi 115, and this is Soi 1 off to the left. And off to the right is the S115 residence. So this is our first 6-story condo or apartments. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. Condos are obviously individual owners, and apartments is one owner. I think these are condos. And this Soi 1 on the left side of the street has a 7-Eleven. And I do see another apartment tucked away back there. I'm going to inspect. Oh, this is kind of cool. Okay, that apartment is on the next street, maybe Soi 3. I was looking at that 6-story back there. This appears to be just some kind of authentic Thai businesses. Well, they're all authentic. Somebody had mentioned in the comments that sometimes I say this is an authentic Thai neighborhood, and you know, halfway kidding, she said, aren't they all Thai neighborhoods? And yeah, I had to agree. I'm just trying to put the difference, I guess, between just some mellow little Thai shop homes like this and a more fancy Western building, although probably 90% of the people, if not more, that live in that building are Thai. yet it's definitely a fancier setup. So let's get back on 115. And there's a side view of that, what was it, the S115 residence. They don't look to be terribly large units, but 30 square meter, 25 minutes out from Asok, it's going to come at a nice savings. And this particular building, you're less than a 10-minute walk to the big C, and way less. And that is the BTS station right there, a 2-minute walk away. And I'm assuming the 7-Eleven is 24 hours. Even in quieter areas, they usually are. And this looks like a private home on the right. I love these private homes that the city has just kind of expanded around. That's nice. And there's an example. If you look off to the right, you can tell where the 2 air conditioning units are, exactly how big those 2 size apartments are. They're either a 1-bedroom or a studio. I personally don't require a lot of space. I just kind of lucked into a 54 meter condo. I would have been just fine with a 30 meter. In fact, I lived in a 31 for a long time. I've also lived in a Navy rack in a small size room with whatever it was, 12 other guys. And this is the Pause building or Passe, I don't know, 115. Another smaller building. I cross the street to give you a better look. Yeah, I guess it's the Pause 115. And that's the unit right there. So maybe even a little bigger than that. Yeah, get out here in the trees there. You can see that's the hallway on the right. That's the living room in the middle, and that's probably the little bedroom. So yeah, not huge, but heck, I don't know what it cost, but if it's 10,000 baht or less, why not? Prices are going up, so I hate to discuss prices. Some folks have left comments like, hey, you're showing these buildings and you're not telling me what they cost. I'm also out here walking around for 3 hours. I'm not gonna go in and bother every manager, you know, what's the price of this unit, and make a video that is going to be out of date 3 months from now when the prices go up. But still, a couple of years from now, you can watch this video and still have an idea of what Sukhumvit 115 is. Say you're going to teach school down at St. Andrews in Bering. I think that's like Soi 101. Well, yeah, Bering used to be super cheap. It's kind of creeping up in price now as everybody's heading out to Bering. So jump on the train, a few more stops, and here you go. Maybe get a good deal up here. Now here's a Big C Mini. We have a Big C just less than a 10-minute walk away, and a Mini a little bit bigger than a 7-Eleven. You'll find some different options in there, grocery-wise. Now this is Soi 3. Yeah, I'm going to show you the area. I'm going to show you the names, or to the best of my ability, of these different buildings, but it's up to you to do your own research as to what the current prices are. Establish a relationship with a realtor would be my, what do you call it? My, that's what I would do. I'm getting a little hot, sorry, I've been walking around 3 hours or so. It's about time for a bottle of water. But yeah, find a relationship with a realtor and then tell them I'm interested in this building or these 6 buildings on Soi 115, and give me the current prices. And that's all you're going to do. Now, don't be put off by the prices. I've said it in other videos, but my condo, I got a pretty good deal. I looked at a condo in Phrom Phong for 116. Now, this was a year ago. It was a 32 square foot in a 6-story building, or 8-story, and it was on the 8th floor. So that's kind of the ideal. It's all about what floor you're on, and I don't know, less bugs, more wind, that kind of thing. I'm up on the 26th floor right now, and I still get the occasional mosquito. I'm not complaining, but that's, you know, the 26th floor. So arguing over the 3rd floor or the 6th floor, I don't think it's going to make that big a difference, but I'll leave that up to you. Anyhow, I looked at a place for 16,000, and she recommended we go look at this place for 22,000, which is not a lot of money, but it was more than I wanted to pay. I was paying 16 in En Nut and 16 in Phrom Phong, the area I wanted to live in. Sounded great. But she said, well, let's go look at this place. And then that's where I ended up moving. It's 54 square meter. They wanted 22,000. I offered 18, and I offered to pay 6 months rent up front and then another 6 months later. And she said, no, just pay me monthly 19,000 baht and we'll go from there. So my lease is coming up. Hopefully I'll luck out and she'll let me keep it at 19,000. Again, I'll make the same offer. If she wants to say, hey, you know, I'm considering raising the rent, I'll say, well, if you keep it at 19, I'll give you 6 months right now, and we'll see if that kind of moves things along. Now this building, I can't tell, the sign is backwards. That's weird. Boo? The Boo building, maybe? And there's another one next door. Yeah, the signs are, I guess, like a little arty. You see how they're backwards there? I guess it's blue? I don't know. But nice clean buildings. Again, very, very close to the BTS. And I'm not sure if there's a way up here to sneak over to that big C, because it's just off to the left. Maybe there is. We'll go down and find out. You got to know all the little shortcuts. Not that it's that much further. In fact, it's not far at all. Right there is 115. You take a right, walk up Sukhumvit just a short distance, and you're at the big C. But if you can sneak to it through like the loading dock area over here, all the better. And here's another interesting building. See, a building like this, a 6-8 story, with kind of what I know today, that's what I'll go for. If I have to leave the building I'm in now on the higher floor and all, yeah, I'm not gonna rush out to another high-rise building. I could care less. If I can get a nice, larger, older unit, or even a smaller unit at a nice, super price. I'm all about traveling. I'm not gonna lie, it's nice to have that 54 square meter, but I'm just fine in a 31 square meter. I don't know if I would go to a 28 square meter to save $100 a month. Probably not, but I'm certainly not going to pay $700 more a month or anything to be in a 60 square meter. That's just me. So this is the B loft on Sukhumvit 115. But you know how you like things. Myself, I like to go out to dinner almost every night. I like to travel, see other countries. My home is important to me, but it's not everything to me. I'm not there 24/7. It's just a place to hang my hat. Now down this way appears to just be some private homes, but I'm gonna walk to the end of the way here. I don't think it's gonna pop through towards that big C, or I would just see motorbikes zipping through here. Whenever there's a way to cut through like that, yeah, they're gonna use it as a shortcut. No, and I just asked this gentleman if I can get to the big C down there, and he pointed back in this direction and made the old U-turn indication. So there is the ideal 115. The big C would be right about there on the other side of this building. So not a long walk at all. And from these 6 and 8 story buildings back here, even in the heat or the pouring rain, you could be up to that big station or BTS station. No time. 5-minute walk. And size-wise on the apartments, not that big a deal to me. I'll never have a condo without a washer. I hate doing laundry in the laundromat, even though I sometimes still do because I don't have a dryer. But 9 out of 10 times, pull it out of the washer, hang it out to dry, and it's fine. Even these small units, well, not all of them, but I see washing machines on most of the balconies. Yeah, if it's whatever, $20 more US a month to have a washer, please do that. It'll make your life a lot easier. I know many people will say, I'm just gonna drop it off at the laundry lady, and that's all good and fine, but that can even just turn into another chore. It's kind of a strange day. Headed out at 5:45 in the morning, and it was nice and cool. The second the sun came up at whatever it was, 7:15, it just got 15 degrees hotter. But now the wind is kind of howling. There's some clouds in the sky. It almost feels like it might start sprinkling, which is fine with me. Downpour's no good, but it's definitely cooled off another 10 degrees at, I'm guessing it's 8:30 in the morning. So that's a little bit unusual. If you think you're gonna head out at 7, 8 in the morning and enjoy a nice cool morning, well, you better head out at 6 in the morning because it gets extremely hot the second the sun comes up. And off in the distance, that's our landmark, that Sukhumvit building. So that is close to the BTS stairs. I'm not sure how much further we're gonna go back. I see one more building tucked away, so let's go at least see that. That'd be about maybe Soi 5 off 115. But yeah, it's just not worth, it's not worth it to me. Heading back a mile from the train to pay the exact same amount for the same size apartment. I mean, if you go 2 miles tucked away back there, yeah, you might get some savings, but the difference between being 1 block from the train and 6 blocks from the train is often $10 US. And here's a couple more towers. They on Soi 5, they almost look identical to that building. So maybe they built these 2 properties at the exact same time. Oh, I said that was a 7-Eleven. Little big C on the corner. Yeah, this is called the B Loft. Weren't those other ones also something lofts? Well, this is the B Loft Light. I'm not sure what the other B Loft was. And looking down Soi 5, that's the only building I see. And this is also very, very close to the BTS, but that's about it. As I look down the way, I see maybe just an old school building or hotel, including this building. See, I'll compare this B Loft. I hate to call it Western, but it's just more modern compared to the building right next door. That is just more old school, maybe full of families and kids running up and down the hall. There's nothing wrong with that, but just throwing it out there. Myself, hey, I don't have a problem with noise or kids having fun. That's all great. But if I can stay here for $20 more a month, even if it's $50 more a month, and it's just nobody's there except me or the Thai nurse who lives right next door, yeah, that's all the better. That's probably the best $50 I'm gonna spend that month. Absolutely nothing wrong with this building, but yeah, for what you're gonna save, you're probably better off in a nice little building like this with a pool on the roof and a gym and a washing machine in your unit, even if it's $100 more a month. And that's the BTS tracks straight ahead. Let's see if the train comes by. Well, anyhow, you can see the tracks down the way. Very short walk, less than 10 minutes. And the other nice thing about living in an area like this up here, I mean, I like Prom, Asok, all these places, don't get me wrong, but that is very valuable real estate. We're super close to the train, yet back here there's all kinds of cool little businesses and restaurants. And this is looking down Soi 7, and this is Soi 4. I am going to take the time to, I don't know if this is a good idea. I was going to say I'm going to walk all the way down Soi 4 to see if I can then shoot off to the right towards that Sukhumvit building. You can see it's quite a ways down there. Yeah, I just saw a motorbike go straight. So I'm going to assume, which is a bad thing to do in Bangkok, you would assume if you go all the way to the end of this street, you'll be able to take a right and pop out on Sukhumvit. Let me get out of the way of this car. And that's not always the case. You might walk all the way down there and it's just a dead end to the right. That's just how it goes. But I'm seeing motorbikes zip off to the right. So as far as this Soi 4, not a lot happening. This looks like a nursery, and that's the Sukhumvit building. Also, at the other end of the, where are we at? Chao BTS station. So I'm going to shut the camera off, let it cool down, plug it in, and walk up to the end of this street. It's just a bunch of residential, so you're not missing anything. And looking down the way at the end there is Soi 115. That is the ideal 115 building. that's the Supalai building. Somebody's rocking their Thai tunes. As a matter of fact, that gentleman just offered me a bottle of water. He scared me. He came out of nowhere. Hey, excuse me, want a bottle of water? And yeah, I had no idea. So there's a little place to eat here. Yeah, that guy right there, he offered me a bottle of water. Nice guy. But yeah, he kind of came out of nowhere. Thank you. That's a car wash back there. So I'm not sure if we're up to Soi 117. No, it says something Soi 7. But I'm going to take a right turn here. This looks like a 7-Eleven on the corner. It is. And make my way back towards Sukhumvit. Now this is a cool little market. Yeah, living in a neighborhood like this, not that it's that big a deal to spend whatever this is, 40 and 35 baht. Where compared to paying 60 baht up in the Phrom Phong area, but hey, 40 baht is better than 60 baht, and I'm making these numbers up. It's just a little bit cheaper. We're gonna take this right turn, but I want to at least see what's around the corner. Yeah, it's just a little neighborhood, but you can see it's I won't say country living, but for being in Bangkok, it's nice and mellow. Things can get pretty darn chaotic down the way. Even my condo, let's say it's on the left side of the street, and to get to the 7-Eleven, sometimes it's like running across a freeway. So off in the distance, I can see the BTS tracks, and that's the Supalai building. So that's our goal. You know what? I should have took that bottle of water from that gentleman. I'm gonna stick my head in here in 7-Eleven and cool down real quick. It's going on 9 a.m. All right, so I powered down a bottle of water and even got a little ham and cheese sandwich cooked up on the George Foreman. And now we're back out exploring. It is getting hot now. I thought it was cloudy and windy and maybe even a chance of a sprinkle, but no such luck. So this is Thai hospital products. I don't see any other buildings other than that Supalai down near the BTS. And that little business on the right here. But I like just getting out here, exploring these different areas. For one thing, it's good exercise. And for another, I'm kind of learning all these little hidden areas. I had a buddy, he told me about a year ago, yeah, I live up there by Phu Chao, and I'm, where's that? You know what I mean? Oh, just a little past Bering. Well, I know where Bering is, but now when somebody says anything about this area, I've spent a couple hours walking around. I'm not sure it's for me. I'm still running around and out hanging out, listening to music and hanging out in the different Irish pubs and all. But when it comes time to slow down, who knows where I'm going to end up. You never know where life is going to take you. Some local spots to eat, setting up their food stands for all the workers in the area, no doubt. Off to the left here, I hear machinery clanking away. Some kind of machine shop. Let's see if we can get a peek. Yeah, I don't know what that is they're working on. Over here, this says it's a Remax office. Remax Real Estate, I assume. And there's some holes down to the left here. There's definitely some drainage issues they're working on. And this little area is Soi 1, behind that Supalai building, which is there. And we're almost out to Sukhumvit, so let's go out to the front of that building. But super nice and peaceful back here. There's some old school buildings tucked away back here as well. And there's the side of that large Supalai building. And that's a nice looking little home. Very close to the train. Even my friends that have cars, and most people I know own cars, they still rely on that train heading into the city. It's no different than heading into Chicago or New York. Nobody wants to deal with that traffic. And this sign says the Samut Prakan Vice Governor residence. Must be somewhere down this street. And very close to the train is a no frills S117 apartments. It looks like a roofing store. I see shingles and drywall, different hardware supplies, bricks, all kinds of building things. And there goes the BTS pulling into Phu Chau. And I'll bet that's some amazing seafood as the evening goes on. Right off of Sukhumvit, very close to the train. Another 7-Eleven right on the corner. And now we've made our way back up to Sukhumvit, and that Supalay building's right off to the right. And how far did we come down from the train? Not too far. I could see the rain cover up there a couple 100 feet ahead. And it's the Supalay veranda. Looks like a beautiful building. Right next door is the Panasonic, or a Panasonic factory. And the steps to the BTS, not even 200 feet ahead. And I'd almost bet money right up there on the 6th or 10th floor is the pool area. All these buildings are going to have a beautiful pool, oftentimes a rooftop deck, nice gym. And on the other side of the road, I think I showed at the beginning of this video, is another Toyota plant or parts warehouse. So there you go. There's a big, whatever that was, 1 hour loop around the Phu Chau area. Interesting place. Nice and mellow. It would be a nice place to live. Plenty of options close to the train. So I appreciate you checking out my little getting lost around the area this Tuesday morning. And consider subscribing for more videos from Bangkok and different parts of Thailand, Southeast Asia. There'll be more to come. You have a great morning.